Hey y'all, so I'm gonna do another video. It's going to be a little bit different. Since I've came back to YouTube, I have the want to open up to y'all more about me and my personal life and just really get to know me. And I think Nate's the reason, he makes me feel like I can be myself and really just open up to y'all. That's what this video is. It's not going to be about me opening up to y'all, but it's going to be me going into depth about some personal things. So stay tuned. As I've mentioned before, my father recently did pass away February 1st. This is one of the first things I want to open up to y'all about. Just because it's something I'm going through and trying to adjust. My father wasn't much of a father figure to me, but I was definitely a daddy's girl growing up. I loved my dad. Like, when I saw him, my world was just so happy and complete. I remember when I was younger, I was at my grandparents' house, and I guess he got arrested and went to jail, and I heard about it and I cried all night. It was horrible. But I remember going to the jail and visiting him, and it was just such a great time. Not that he was in jail or anything, I'm not saying that's good, but it was just one of the experiences I remember with my dad. He was an alcoholic, pretty bad all my life. My mom's told me that as soon as I started walking, I understood the concept of go get daddy a beer from the fridge, and I would do that. My family and I do not get along. I feel like the oddball out with my family, and my dad felt that same way. It's like we've always been treated like we're less than them. My grandma was a dental assistant or whatever, like a receptionist. She was married to my grandfather, who passed away 2 years ago. I made a video about that. Well, now it's 3 years, actually. It'll be 3 years in June or July. And he was retired Air Force. He worked at Blue Water Elementary School. He was head custodian. A very talented man, along with my dad. So my grandma and grandpa, those are my dad's parents. And my aunt is his sister. She's a stay-at-home wife. Good for her. Happy-go-lucky. I'm glad she's living her best life. Then my sister, we didn't used to be close growing up, but then we got close, and then she got close to my grandma and aunt. So now they're like the 3 stepsisters, and I'm just the ugly cousin or whatever, which I don't care about, because I've really never, now that I'm older, I realize I've never felt really loved by my family. Bryce's parents were, don't get emotional. Bryce's parents were like my parents. They definitely showed me love, and I felt it from them. I just feel like my family's always been real judgmental, and my dad was not steady on his feet. He was living house to house. I grew up with my grandparents. They raised me, and most of my life he lived with us. So he wasn't really a father figure. He was kind of like a brother, I'd say, but he was still my dad, if that makes sense. If you know, you know. Yeah. When my grandfather got diagnosed with cancer, I got sent to Virginia to stay with my aunt and uncle. That really hurt me because I didn't understand. My aunt was she's a stay-at-home housewife, or stay-at-home wife, whatever you want to call it. So why couldn't she come down here to be with me and my grandfather, which is her dad? So that really, I was hurt and angry about that. But I don't know. It'll all add up. I just want y'all, I don't even feel the need to explain myself, like, as to why I did what I did, but I think it will make sense. And I don't regret it at all. And no one will ever make me feel bad about it or feel selfish about it, but it is what it is. So in Virginia, that's when I met Steven, my ex-boyfriend, and I dated him. I ended up buying him a car. So I was 16, he was like 20, 21, whatever, and I bought him a car. And my family got upset about it, which I understand why, and now I'm older and past that relationship, out of that toxic situation, I realized that it was toxic. Like, that was not love. I did not love him. I was sad and depressed about my grandfather, and I clung on to somebody because they made me forget about all the bad shit that I had going on. So, whatever. And all this while, my grandparents are going back and forth from Arkansas for cancer treatment. After I bought Steven the car, I don't even care to bleep out names. After I bought Steven the car, my family got pissed off, and, well, my aunt and uncle did. Not pissed off, but upset with me because I was basically, like, living a double life. Because my whole life, I've always felt, this is my life, but this is how they want me to live. So I'm going to live my life, but I'm only going to show them what they want. You know, if that makes sense. So I did that, and they kind of felt betrayed, just hurt. And ever since then, I think that's really what just completely shattered my relationship with everybody in my family. Which to me, honestly, like, blood does not make me family. Like, love does, trust does, loyalty does. It's so much more than blood. And like, that's period. So they sent me back down to my grandparents' house, just so they could have a break and think about what they wanted to do and make me think about what I wanted to do. They gave me the ultimatum of either going to live with my mom or going back up to Virginia and making things right. Well, I was like, I already fucked up. They're going to be pissed. Well, they are pissed. So if I go back up there, I'm probably not going to be able to drive the car. I'm probably not going to be able to go out or be trusted. So I took the step to go live with my mom, which I had never done. Not a good idea. My mom and I, we are working on our relationship. It's getting a lot better. Like I mentioned in that last video, she's actually coming over here to stay while my car's in the shop. So we're working on it slowly but surely. It will take time and everything, but that's fine. And Steven, so after I bought him the car, I was grounded because I did such a bad thing, whatever. So I had my phone taken away. So I wasn't able to communicate with Steven, which I wish it stayed that way. But he got in contact with my mom and flew down to Pensacola and moved in with my mom, and I didn't know about it. But when I made that decision to go stay with my mom, I obviously found out about it like through the weeks as I was down here, and was like, oh, fuck, I'll just go live with her and be with him because I'm so in love. Turns out I wasn't. The most abusive, toxic, disgusting relationship I was in my whole life. It was horrible. So that's kind of like where my troubles with my family came in. Really is when I bought him that car. But obviously, like, even before that, always growing up, I would like sneak out, go drink, and like I'm a big disappointment to my whole family, basically. And my dad was the same. So he was broke, homeless, and alcoholic. Okay. and it was looked down upon by his mother, his sister, his daughter. I was not happy with him, but I wasn't like, you're fucking trash, you're scum, like, stay away. No, I was like, he needs help. Like, and after his dad, my grandpa passed away, is when really like his alcoholism took over. Which I've noticed when Bryce first passed away, I was drinking a lot. Not even like, obviously I knew I was drinking, but I wasn't realizing like, this is alcoholism. I'm using alcohol to cope with what I'm going through, and that's not okay. I was drunk more than I was sober. I would drink so much I would wake up drunk, go to work drunk. Not drunk. I wasn't hungover. I was like still pretty fucking drunk. But whatever. That's its own story. But so I then decided to stop drinking. And I went to go see the doctor. I ended up getting on like antidepressants, anti-anxiety, which now I'm not taking because I found out I'm pregnant, and that medication has been sometimes associated with heart defects, which scares me. So I don't like taking any medicine when I'm pregnant, period, not even really like Tylenol. I try to take my prenatals every day, and that's about it. So yeah, got the help I needed. After Bryce passed away, I met Nate, like I mentioned in our first video together, of like me bringing y'all two together, introducing y'all two. My family wasn't like, they didn't really care because I don't talk to them. They probably didn't even know I like found someone else. But them being judgmental, my sister does research on my new boyfriend, which, like, for one, okay, I get like maybe it's you want to protect your little sister, but we're not really friends like that, or sisters like that. Like, you don't really care about me. So of course, them being them, they judge him off of his past. And from the time I met him to now, a lot has changed, and he could tell you that. But whatever. Back to my dad, I'm sorry. This is just me like spilling the beans of my fucked up, dysfunctional relative. I'll call them relatives because to me they're not really family. But back to my dad. Okay, so he was looked down upon because he was broke, homeless, and an alcoholic. But my aunt is a stay-at-home wife, gets just as drunk, but on expensive wine. But she's so perfect. And my sister's so lucky to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm being fucking sarcastic because God forbid your husbands leave y'all. Y'all are fucked. I'm looked down upon because I enjoy working. This is at least how I feel. I feel like I'm looked down upon because I enjoy working. I've always been independent. I got my first job the day after I turned 15 or 16, however old you can start working in Florida. And ever since then, I've been fucking working non-stop. Everything I have is because I fucking worked for it. And I will be damned if a man has the ability to be like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this or that, or you wouldn't live like this, or you wouldn't, whatever. I don't care. I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to be a stay-at-home wife. I don't want to be nothing like that. I want to be a successful, independent female that can support my children, myself, my husband, if I ever get married. I would be fine with like a stay-at-home husband, but I'm not. That's not me at all. I can't do that. Sorry, not sorry. So in my family, everyone, well, not everyone, but my aunt and and my dad, brother and sister, are both alcoholics. My dad is homeless, so he's a piece of shit for that. My aunt's a housewife, so it's okay. Whatever. So my dad ends up passing away. He was in a trailer park so he grew up in Niceville, and he passed away in his friend's trailer. He was in a chair in the living room, like recliner. And recently, like, when was it? Friday, I drove past to go pick up Nate's aunt, and I think it was the chair he passed away, and they had it on the side of the road. I don't know for sure, but I'm like, why would they want to keep a chair that their friend died in, you know? So he died February 1st. I was the first and only one contacted about him passing away. Okay, so what, like, his mom wasn't contacted, his sister, his oldest daughter, his ex-wife, no one was contacted besides me, okay? And so it's not like I'm like, oh, I was the only one contacted, I get to deal with everything. But I was like, I was the only one contacted. That's what my dad wanted. My dad and I were close, regardless if he wasn't really a strong father figure in my life. He was still my dad, and we were still close. And that's that. We're both like the black sheep of the family. And I remember when he was staying in Pensacola with me and my mom, that he was so upset that he felt like his own mom didn't care about him. He told me, he's like, I could fall off the face of the earth and be gone forever and no one would notice. My mom wouldn't care. That shit broke me. And yeah. But so I was the only one contacted about him passing away. And I dealt with the detective, the medical examiner, the funeral home, and like, I feel like that's what he would have wanted. I must have been his emergency contact on some type of hospital record or something for me to be the only one contacted. And my family, I didn't tell them. I found out like 7 o'clock that morning. I didn't tell them until about 10 o'clock that night. And I really thought about it. I was not going to tell them at all. But I was like, I can't do that. That's his daughter, his sister, his mom. Like, they have to know. And I was like, maybe I can just wait until I get the information, like cause of death, what happened. Because I know if I'm calling you randomly, because we don't talk, and be like, hey, daddy passed away. What, when, where, how did you know? I know there's questions, and I wanted to be prepared to properly answer them. So I went against my gut feeling of not telling him. That was my gut feeling. My first instinct is, don't tell them. They don't really care. Maybe they do care, but from the way I feel about it, and the way my dad felt about it, and the way it seemed, is that they didn't care. So I continued to deal with everything by myself, start the process of getting his cremation and everything in place. The medical examiner did a toxicology report. Still waiting to figure out what the cause of death was, but the detective I spoke to recently, he did say that they found some narcotics in his system, which I never knew my dad to use drugs. And even if he did, I feel like it may have just been like to hang out, or I don't know. But either way, I mean, once I found that out, I texted my sister and was like, hey, the detective said they believe they found some narcotics in his system. And she's like, yeah, I know. And I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't reply, I don't think. Because whatever. So as I am like in the funeral home getting the paperwork and stuff, like death certificate information, everything started with the funeral director. One of the questions is, what city and state was your dad, or was John born in? And I didn't know. I thought maybe I knew, it was Mobile, Alabama. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. So I asked my grandma, I was like, where was Daddy born? And she said, Mobile, Alabama. Why? What's going on? What are you doing? Then she started blowing my phone up. And I'm like, I am at the funeral home doing paperwork. And she's just like, don't you think we should all be there? Like, I'm coming down there tomorrow. I was like, no, I'm just doing paperwork. Y'all told me you don't want to see him. You don't want to have a service for him. So, like, you know, what else do y'all want to be involved with? Paying for it? Because my sister told me I was a fucking idiot for paying for it when the state would have paid for it because he was homeless. And I'm like, I do not care. That is my dad. Like, you know? So, and then that same day, while I was at the funeral home, is when I saw my dad. And they're just blowing my phone up while I'm like sitting there with my dad's body. And they were like, you can't wait, blah, blah. I'm like, what do y'all want me to do? Let his body sit here and fucking rot? No. I will handle the shit. Y'all can be mad. And I don't feel bad about it at all. So I get him cremated. I picked him up, I believe, on the 19th of February or 20th. No, it was the 19th, I think. Must have been. Yeah. And I wasn't going to have a service for him because I was like, I don't know how to set that up, where to do it, how to do it. Do I bring snacks and drinks and shit or what? So I just did a small little like get together of his friends at Lions Park in Niceville. He loved going there. He loved fishing there. When he was homeless, I found out for a while he was staying there. He got trespassed from there, got arrested, went to jail, whatever. So I was like, that's the perfect place. And like his friends, they're different. They're not like rich, stay at home, wives or husbands or anything. Like, they got everything they have on their own. So all of his friends that I knew and that were brought around my family were all judged by his mom, which I get. Like, if people act sketchy or just look different, you're kind of like, but you got to try to like understand not everyone's the same. So I had not a service, I like to call it like a celebration of life, or just like a get together. Really, I just had some fruit and a veggie tray, and I brought some drinks. My mom, which is his ex-wife, brought a pack of beer because he loved drinking. And yeah, we all just sat there and talked about my dad, and it was real nice. And everyone was like, thank you for having this. It's perfect. Your dad would have loved it. It's exactly what he would have wanted. I didn't invite my grandma, my aunt, or my sister because truthfully, they weren't welcomed. I don't know how they found out about it, but they showed up and no one was crying. It was not sad at all. Like, it was really like peaceful and calming, and like, I'm happy I did that. Like, it brought me a lot of peace just hearing, like, because obviously I knew him as my dad and his friends knew him as his friends. Like, so it was just nice hearing about their experiences with him and their friendship and everything. But my grandma is like bawling her eyes out, and I'm like, that shit's fake as fuck. Cut that shit out. I didn't even say anything to her. But so I'm sitting at a round table. I'm right here. One of my dad's friends is right here. We're sitting down, and my grandma is standing up next to his friend, talking whatever. She's like, all right, well, I'm about to head out. This bitch, like, is like acting like she's gonna hug me. So I'm like, all right, bye, I love you. Just being cordial. But she ends up like grabbing my neck and my hair and is like, shame on you, in front of everybody. And I was like, I should slap the fuck out of you. What the fuck? And I said, you can not make me feel bad for anything I did for my dad. You can't. I don't care what you do, what you say. I don't feel bad. I have his ashes. I'm happy with that. What were y'all gonna do with them? Nothing. I mean, I'm not gonna do nothing with them, but like, just, it feels right to me. I don't care if they think it's wrong. I don't care if you think it's wrong. I don't care if it looks wrong, because I kind of understand it sounds fucked up, but really I don't care, because it's my dad. And I'm the one he wanted to handle everything at the end of the day. And I know that, like, in my heart. That's how I feel. And I do believe that. Yeah. So, my family and I don't talk anymore. Which I don't really care, because growing up, I was always like, my dad. Just, like, judged, and I don't even know what I did to, like, cause them to treat me, like, different. Like, I was a fucking kid. I got in trouble. Like, I drank, I snuck out, I smoked. But I really wasn't that bad of a kid. But I don't know. I still think about it every day, just trying to, like, think of where I went wrong in my childhood with them, or just in my life, period. Because I don't really know. But I also kind of don't care, because things happen the way they're supposed to. And I do believe that. So yeah. I think that's all I really wanted to touch base on with y'all. It was kind of rambly and all over the place. I don't have notes or anything. It was all off my head. So if y'all made it this far, thank you for listening to me. I hope y'all never feel like left out or just different or unloved from your family, because it's a fucked up feeling. And I hope Lorelai or baby number 2 never feels that way, because no one deserves that. I don't care what you do, how bad you are, or whatever. No one deserves that. But y'all subscribe to my channel. You can like, comment, share, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.